Alex, let's start. Mic check, mic check. So yeah, we can start. So, dear guests, dear friends, dear colleagues, dear partners, I have the honor of presenting to you our topic, the day after tomorrow, artificial intelligence in marketing. I have gotten different professionals in the AI sphere. So every year I present this sphere, present this topic. We had a presentation on a vertical video, and I'm always a little bit about telling about the future. And I think a lot of people now are using the AI, and in the nearest future, they are going to be everywhere. We are going to have both practice and theory. So we are going to start. So I'm going to present the colleagues to you. I think you would better do it yourself. So I am Vlad Sitnikov. To be a little bit closer to the AI, I'm a co-founder of Media.SME with a Code Digital. For the past 15 years, I've been writing about the most innovational digital things. I also have an advertisement agency. Actually, I'm quite an interpreter, and all the innovations, I look after them. My education, my degree is philosophy. I have a degree in philosophy and regional science. So Alexei Parfun is our honored Bashkir person. He has been to Ufa for quite many times, and we can have different topics, but he is sure to be here. So we are going to speak about the practices which are used today in the AI. So I'm going to present myself then, not going to waste the time right now. And so I'm very proud that we have Sergei Borisovich here, Sergei Pereslegin. He has honored us to come here. Actually, my specialty is physics, and I'm a prognostic. And I'm going to speak about the forecast, even though I don't have quite an expertise in AI. So this is here. Have a mic. So I'm going to be replacing on this stage. So I have 20 minutes. I think I have had a feeling on it about it. So this is the last section, and we can get some more time. So yeah, feel free to tell the people about your report. So my name is Alexei. Actually, is Bashkortostan is quite a relative, quite a familiar region to me. I am a director of gender media. I'm representative of gender media. We do videos using deepfakes. If you have seen deepfakes, it's probably that you have seen our deepfake. We work with clones, so we usually work with this. This is why I've gotten involved in this history, and I'm emerging in it, and I'm going throughout the country and telling about it. So I'm a history teacher in my first education. So actually, I also have the historical insight. I'm not going to go in details about our company. I'm going to show you. First of all, I want to show you one of the reels that we had. It demonstrates one of the projects that we have right now. So we are going to demonstrate it. Can you please switch it on?
Ну, в общем, мы много чем занимаемся.
So we do quite a lot of things, series, shows, marketing, etc. Today we are going to speak about AI and what are the tendencies of the marketing and the trends of the AI marketing. So I'm going to give the word to Vlad then, but today he's not going to speak about my topic today. These are some highlights of my topic. So I'm going to repeat myself.
Во-первых, ну, это какие-то ключевые вещи. Каждый год все маркетологи и все специалисты начинают говорить о чем-то.
Marketologist and every specialist start saying about something without stopping. Today it's about AI. Yesterday it was Meta's universities. And I think that the meta universes are quite a good space, and digitalized copies of things can be downloaded here. So, anyways, we are going to get here. It's like so-called Russian cyberpunk. So I think it's quite an important thing, which we are going to study deeper, and we are going to emerge deeper in it. And everyone who are here, who are presented here, is a digitalized identity. It's like the media profiles accounts, and this is very. And we also have a series of virtual bloggers and influencers. Some of the people don't believe in them. But anyways, we are covered in this. We are surrounded by such an AI, and I think it's going to be an important thing for a lot of us because we are having a lot of VR technologies and stuff, and also narrow webs. I also believe in this digitalized versions. For example, we have this Katya blogger. Uh, so we understand that if we have a competitor that has the same appearance and the audience also relates to it, there's going to be it's going to make a difference. But anyways, some of the people say that this Katya, who is a blogger, she is like a sex toy, and I think it's not interesting to some people to talk to her. I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt you. I think that we have an digital ambassador, and if they are going to give some commentary, it's going to be really unnecessary if they are going to address us at night. I think we need to change it and limit it. I think that the advertisement in games is a very good sphere which we overlook. For example, if you see some of the advertisements in Roblox and stuff, I think a lot of men think that it's in perspective part of the economy actually. So I believe in this really hardly. And also the sellings that are made via the streaming services. Uh, I've heard that a person who hasn't used Twitch because he doesn't know what Twitch is, and I was really surprised. And Twitch has a big audience, much more than your average television. I'm going to tell you that the games get more attention from the younger and more active audience, and it's going to get even bigger. And with the development of these people, with the growth of these people, they are going to go there. The marketplaces are, as I have mentioned before, even in Bashkortostan, in on digital Kurultai and some other events, I always speak about it. Is that not all of the people live in big countries in our country, and anyways, people love going to the big stores, big shops, and using these VR glasses, you can get into this big store and you can get this interaction with your best friend. I think it's really important and interesting. And the cryptograms and blockchain is really interesting too. But it's like there are a lot of con people here, so we don't believe it anymore. because there are a lot of calm people who, like, anyways, we have this developing. For example, we have this digitalized UN, so we have to imagine it too. I can't omit the Telegram, and because, as you know, that right now, yeah, Telegram is quite ahead of other Russian media, and I think everyone, pretty much everyone, has a Telegram channel right now. And if they had a good advertisement campaign now, they would have made quite a lot of money by now. But it's obvious that Telegram is developing rapidly. And the main thing is, why did I mention this narrow manner? Because when I made up this word, I was really proud because I don't like this word postmodern. I don't like this term postmodern because I think neo-modern is more accurate when depicting our reality. Actually, we live in a reality in which we use AI to do a lot of things, and it's not nice to say, but anyways, we are not going to come back. We are going to connect with a giant amount of AIs, and they are going to develop rapidly. So, as I mentioned before, I'm a history teacher, so now we are going to have this some history details, even though I don't think they're necessary. People say that neuroscience has been developed only today, but actually, no. So, the first articles on this topic have emerged in 40s. So they have been developing for 80 years. The first neuro Narrow web it was made in 1958, but there wasn't big development. But then Google started recognizing some pictures, but we helped Google to do it. You know, these pictures, this kind of pictures. So we both contributed in it, and we all contributed to this development point, and we have surpassed it. And I always joke about it. So when my mom starts sending me such AI-generated pictures, so AIs have won, and my mom has started doing it, and I realized that the revolution has come, and I realized that right now they are growing rapidly, and all of the people who don't use it now, they are going to use it anyway. I think we are the early, bigger half of people, bigger part of people. So let's clap to it. Yeah, I think a lot of people here understand it quite a lot, but actually people with no understanding have heard of ChatGPT and such words. And about the reality with AI, where the AI has won. Actually, a lot of brands are using AI already. In Russia, even we use AI, for example, Sberbank, Yandex, MTS, Megafon, who are developing investing in such investigations. We have GigaChat, Devr, Kandinsky, etc. And these are our strong sides, and we have them. By 2025, we are going to have 10 of the AI-generated content in the internet. So this is the content made by AI. As for now, these are the pictures, these are the texts, which is quite simple, and in the near future, it's going to be video, and it's going to change the market quite a lot in many aspects. For example, in contact rating, and here I give an answer to a question which haven't been yet asked. Some people ask if we are going to get jobless with the AI, if AI is going to get our jobs. So I think that it's all right that the computer is going to replace us on the job places, the workplaces. I'm pretty much agree. I'm pretty much okay with sitting at home and having the machine doing all for me. But actually, the humankind has been developing these AI technologies for 200 years, and we still have jobs. For example, in Aldous Huxley novel, they had the same automatization stuff, and anyways, they had this to do these jobs. It's a brand new world novel, I believe. Uh, and also, we have heard that the emerging implementing of the new um, engines has not getting away the jobs from the people. But people had the same amount of workplaces, but they had a different work experience. Uh, so in this reality, we exist right now, in the reality in which we have to learn some new skills, some new programs, some new technologies, and to implement them in the industry. And this is content-wise. And in this market, I think it's going to be the same in the medicine, and so AI changes logistics and pretty much everything. But anyways, we understand that we are going to be left without the jobs and working places by the companies which use AI, not by the AI itself. So about the videos are going to be synthetic, like generated. We have a lot of companies that do it now, and the content is personalized, is unique, and it's not like it's people who are. It's not like personalized to some age group or target group. It's up to a person, a certain person. You can get your phones, you can get everything you want, and I believe in it. I believe that once we are going to have an internet which is going to look as we want. So automatical generation of content is pretty much a simple thing. So we can get sportive events, articles written, and AI is going to write this content is on a quite good level. And if we learn it, it's going to work on an even better level, and we don't even need to get involved some different skills. The interactive medias, for example, supervisor of the neural webs, is that we have different solutions and we use it to make a new product. And generative making of the creation of the content, this is not a new album of Oxymoron. It's generated by AI album. Actually, it's made by AI fully. But as for me, I wouldn't have seen the difference between it. So this is what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to work with this. The more important trend for me is that we can make generative videos. For example, this Kandinsky video, it's about up to 8 seconds. So you write your inquiry. For example, I want a chair, and you have a video of chair. It's not going to be an Oscar nominee. But anyways, you have to believe me, the first programs didn't look great either. And in 3 to 5 years, we are going to see the movies which are made by the AI generatively. So you can use Gen 2 and you are going to get a video. So I have these videos here, these short videos here. And I'm going to show you some screenshots. I think you're not going to see the whole video. So you have to believe me. We have a lot of examples as of now. You have a lot of examples, and you have a video. So, for example, this is a magic world made by AI. Or, for example, a video made in stylistics of Miyazaki. but also like with the Soviet vibes, and it was animated. So there are quite a lot of examples.
So in the future, in the close future, we're going to be expecting full videos generated by AI and the TV shows with a high value of customization, with the different types of endings, and etc. etc. It will give a huge opportunities, and it will change everything what we do. But we do not worried about it at all. So the games made by generate neural network, and I said that video games are the huge part of the culture, and this game here, it's supposed to everything was created by the AI, the world, the theme, the scenario, and the script, everything was written, was done by the AI. And when they say the open world games, so they can generate the games with the open world, because and those open world will be generated by AI. So it means that if the AI gonna generate the video game world, so it's going to be endless, and so that means that you won't be able to come back to the same place. You know, it happens all the time. You have new subjects, new topics, new and the different plots, but somehow, you know, everything is repetitive, and our life is also repetitive. We sleep, eat, and wash, and you know, the limitations are gonna face the limitations of the personal, the PCs and the game consoles, and once they're gonna be invented, and a huge breakthrough will occur and happen. So finishing my report, in conclusion, I would like to say, in respect to my colleagues, I decided to be a philosopher a little bit, and I think that everything is happening. It really makes us think that about the person, and all the conversations about the neural network goes, if whether it's neural is art or it's not an art. One's gonna say yes, the other's gonna say no, and I think that we're expecting the discovery of the new ethics. You know about, have you heard about deepfakes? And the deepfakes are made on the people who do not exist anymore, who passed away. And I speak a lot of to the errands of the Soviet artists, and one first point of view, there was actors like Karachentsev of that level. And for example, of one point of view is that my husband said everything he wanted to say. He filmed everything he wanted to film, and please do not touch my passed away husband. And the second point of view, people start to forget my father. He's living the folks' memory, and I want even the new kids to know his works and movies he did. And these are two persons. I cannot name them publicly because it won't be correct, but that happened, I can assure you. So these are 2 points of view, and these are position of Islamists, position of the church, position of the laws, and the Sergei Borisovich and I have discussed this topic carefully, and there was a serious limitation. I think it's a really huge call that using the deepfakes and the neural links and the history with ethics, I think it's important. And the last thing that I want to finish my words with is that for me personally, we look at the process of formation of the post-human, like the term neurosapiens that I created myself. I think that it's interesting as well because right as for now, we're passing the stage of transformation. Once the neural networks write the scripts and text, you know that Elon Musk was allowed to allow the Neuralink, and the Neuralink is the implementation of the microchip into the brain, and very soon probably we're gonna create cyborgs and different robots, and I think that's a good perspective for the humanity. And I believe that I'm a technical optimist, and I believe that it's all for the good of the humanity. At least that's what we try to do. So I'm done. This is my Telegram page. Please visit. We're not going to leave you without questions. So the first question is coming from me. So you do conversation with the heirs of the famous artist, and when can we expect for a real movie from you or from anyone else with dead actors, with resurrected dead actors on the screen, resurrected on the screen? Well, for one TV channel, we do a hero, a protagonist into continuation of one movie. May I say it that way? But it's going to be a maximum legendary, and I can't spoil everything for you. That's a leading TV channel. That's a movie that everyone's seen and saw like everyone else, and that's going to be a continuation of that movie. That's going to be a sequel. And the actor has been deceased, right? Yes, of course. He was dead long time ago. And we have a lot of projects and advertising projects, a lot of documentaries, and we do documentary on the theater of satire. I do have an electronic library and with the rights for a lot of actors, Soviet actors that can be used: Korolev, Papanov, Gurchenko, all other different, Pugovkin, for example. And according to the usage of the face of these actors, Neuralink will create it. The ethical surface about what we can do with these people and what we cannot, because that theme is really delicate. And the image of one actor that I cannot mention his name, I think that it's a really huge, deep ocean. There are gonna be a different point of views on that, but me personally, I think globally, if we'll do it correctly, you won't feel any difference. So, for example, in the Carnival Night movie. So maybe a couple of questions from the from the audience, please. So. Timur, right? Just please pass him the microphone.
Да, и представься, да, Тимур.
And tell us your name, please. Lukmanov Timur, representative of Opora России. And my answer is on the advertising. There are advertisements that once we see that Bruce Willis' face was created by the neural network, and does that mean that Bruce Willis gave the right to use his face? Yes, of course, it was legally regulated. And for example, we did a video with Alexander Ovechkin. He's the image of one of the betting services, and he's not a good actor. And the deep fake as a good technology, because Ovechkin himself, he's a hockey player. He's busy mostly all the time. But advertisement videos have been already done, and you won't feel the difference between real and fake Ovechkin. You know, my son is 10 years old, and he told about the race channel, and he said that Race can sit at home and chill and later sell his image. So hypothetically, yes, there are nuances. Race, for example, has his own charisma. Actors do really complain a lot because it's body language and work with the text. So if the double is really good, and if we do the deep fake, you won't feel the difference. And even now there is a trend in the Western world. There was an actors strike, and the studios try to receive their rights on their electronic image, as we would say, to create the content with the technical. That's a black mirror online. We can call it. Yeah. Do I understand correctly that the best the best approach to work in this field is to get all the rights for all the actors, so the work will continue faster, right? Yes, I somewhat agree with you. So, are there any perspective to cancel these rights and license to use these images? Probably no. Probably state and government will bring some limitations, and there will be some other government authorities that will won't pay attention at all. And if we will stop controlling that, we can expect only anarchy. What a beautiful girls in Bashkiria. Guys, would you just be so patient? Nobody goes nowhere. No one's in a hurry. So good day. My name is Glukhu Evgenia, Marta Marketing. I do know you. It's a good place. So please, can you tell me how is the generation of image concerns the rights? Because I know that some of the authors were applying the files to the court because their works were used in the AI during the AI generation. You know, this topic is really expansive and huge. You know, there are a lot of neural network, and they'll do have their license agreement terms. And for example, Midjourney also uses their. For example, in US, there is a legal experience in the when the painters and the actors issued court due to the usage of their work or the images, and a couple of paintings has been excluded. I'm not telling that that will affect the whole world of the neural network, but if we talk about the paintings, if it's in a style, some style, you know, most of them paintings looks the same. You've seen someone, you copy it, you know, like they say, like the neural network also gathers information and copies other works. So probably all the people do the same. And for us, this topic of the right and authority and legislation is really interesting for me. You know, people took our video clip and they used it in their own advertisement. I came there and I blamed him for using our video, and he writes me, okay, so this was generated creation, it belongs to everyone. So we applied to the court and we decided to check how the court will react. So this is, and we won the case. So probably gonna make some kind of a appellation. I think everything is going to be okay. But when you generate with your own hands in all the rights and laws will support and cover you. If once you create an image in Photoshop, just like the neural network, it will not stop using the
стартап в области туриндустрии. У меня вопрос. Мы хотим делать
with different royalties, and we found that once we're gonna do it, the main question is gonna be what's gonna be better, a chat who will suggest how to recreate properly, or it's gonna be whether it's gonna be an avatar who will explain you. Well, subjectively, I can I can tell that it's really comfort to work in a chat because it's really comfortable and everyone got used to. But there are some audiences of the innovators who like everything geeky, and they don't like the fact that I can make the deep fake of Salvador Dali, and a lot of people can speak to Salvador Dali. It's almost kind of have a cyberpunk vibes in it, and everything has its own right to exist and to live. So, thank you very much. Colleagues, can you pass the microphone here?
Дине дайте, пожалуйста.
наконец-то.
Finally, my name is Dina Garifulin, GDRK Bashkortostan. Please, I have been listening to you and I'm stressed a little because I'll explain later. Only now our science lived up to the moment where we can live not without the parents' rules. We can be ourselves listening to you, but even now we cannot be ourselves because everything has been written already. So other question is how you can see the development of the network, of the neural network development. If it's going to be stressful or not. You know, I'm optimist, but you're going to feel the stress after these two men. I'm married and I'm happy, like, you know. I'm kind of warming up the audience. Since the point of view how it's gonna develop, it's a tool. That's an instrument. It's not gonna change anything. And how to use it is the next question. And I think I have one conference. What is the neural network? Is it an exoskeleton or it's a rocking chair for a person? Whether the humanity uses it correctly, if it's going to be a instrument for the frauds, of course they will use it anyway. If it's going to be changed, replace the creative part of the society. But that's the second question, to be honest. And how Sergei Borisovich, the leader expert on the Strugatsky's brothers, and he's in the Ant House, he had at one point, there is a huge segregation between the society. There will be part who will be implementing all and work highly and effectively, and other part of the society who will we can call them traditionalists, some old school people who won't accept the modern reality. So, and in my case, I suggest to give the microphone to Roma. Why neural network still cannot joke?
Смотрите, опять же,
And it says, so what is a joke? Can you understand what is a joke? My kids, I have a video, I can show it later. My smaller kids, they talk together and with our member of family, and they laugh and they feel comfortable. There is no neutral network initially. That's a mathematical program. Intellect is simulated at this point, and it's really interesting just to use it, and it's comfortable to use. I'm a humanities person myself. I think everything's gonna be fine. And
очень многие серьезные, уважаемые люди считают, что это прямо очень неприятный тренд. Она начинает думать на самом деле. И вот это...
And that's really curious, the letter to the...
Прочие люди, политики считают...
all other politics. And the other question is, what are we going to do with it? All right, thank you very much. So as for now, we have Sergei Borisovich. It will be scientific a little. Can you switch on the presentation, please? I'm probably going to say two things. First, that's a good idea of Frais Uzbekovich. He wants to move from ground to the sky. The sky is Scientology, Transology, and first, in between them, there is a... So I'm second, and I'm in that zone. Like the society between, and we had like idea for a book that we live in a made-up world, and we didn't understand quite like so that it's a fantastically created world. And if we take a look closely for at the Strugatsky's brothers book, and you put a timeline of the creation of the timeline of the human movement to space, and you will understand that we have covered the space long time ago on the planet itself as well. But if we lay on that timeline, the timeline of the informational communicational technologies timeline and the neural network timeline, you will learn that everything just like been forecast already. Just like every 2-3 year generation of cosmoplanes has been changing, so it's happening the same here, because the generations of personal computers keeps changing every 2-3 years. If we take a look at the world of Strugatsky brothers, it's a cheap and available space. and it used to be a cheap, available computer, but now it's cheap and accessible neural network. That world was described in the 1970s and 90s of the last century, more than 50 years ago, and there is a name called cyberpunk. And we can easily say that what's going to happen next, because everything has been described already for a long time ago. And this plot and who are sitting inside of that plot won't be able to go out because the plot is never going to end. And why it's happening so? And it all depends on the optimism, away from optimism to pessimism. In his notes, there is a phrase. I read a lot of books, and when the radio appeared, I felt happiness. So I switched on the radio. I had no feeling of that happiness. So once the radio was created, everyone was happy. Anti-person.
So we have this fantastic bank, and it's all about dystopian stories, and we have to leave this AI. It's not going away, and this is a reality in which we have both cons and pros, and all of them are working. So we are going to have this topic which is dedicated to the AI, so the average AI and the making of AI. So my report is quite a long one, and I'm going to go through it rapidly. So this is the situation has started in 2008, and we have made like a prediction of technological sets, and we have started to work with them. We learned how to learn with them, and we understood that every phase of our development, of our growth, is a collaboration of different sets of these technologies. Basic, in which we have only one; dual, in which we have two working together; the closing one, in which we have something final; and the last one is with the structure working all together. And we have seen all these changes together in the phase of informational basics and etc. It has started long ago. So the revolution of AI has passed through on our eyes, in our eyes, and we can see how exactly it works. The neural networks have been around for quite a long time. I'm going to mention such words every time. They are not the same, but I just don't need to go deeper into details and differentiate between them, so I won't be doing it. Ever since 1980, the computers have been working with the data, but for the last time we managed to work with the deep data. Since the AI can get some smaller details on the scale in which we have those things, but we only need to have 2 or 3 focal points, and we can get all the information. So we could manage to find ourselves, to orientate better because on the territory, because we had this. And right now, this AI of our generation has learned how to work with the deep data, and we are going to develop even further. Speaking differently, we can do something better, but AI is going to be better at some points too. And there is the third one, the deep data. Deep data in different complex data. The data in which has similarly no points in general, common points in general. So in this, we don't have results in working of any AI, only the human working. In 1980, Stanislav Lem has implemented these characteristics on how the AI and the robotic techniques is going to develop. So the first one is the stadium of Gomerstadt. According to Lem, it's as complex as a worm. But anyways, you can get it to manage the world's economy because the geomestate problem is quite simple. So it has a simple function which it can get done better than any authorized branch by some algorithm. Then Stanislav Lem has said about some AI which would be able to resolve some problems. That AI is going to play chess better than the human. It would be strange if the AI which works with big data was going to work worse than the human. It's of course it's going to work better. We also have this artificial intelligence. The artificial intelligence has two peculiarities. The first one is working in its ability to work with collaboration with some other AI, which some of which is like more natural, and the ability to create new things, the things which were not originally in the databases. As for now, even though we have a lot of comments in the internet, not even one program or program system hasn't yet created anything totally original. So here we come to the joke from, I think, the film I, Robot, where it's by Asimov, I think. So you are just a robot. You can try. You can paint a picture. You can write a symphony. You can make a scientific theory, which is going to be completely new. And the robot says, "No, I can't. Can you?" And from this point of view, we can say that yes, in relation to the general part of the human being, humankind, they are not on the level of average AI. And the last stage, according to Stanislav Lem, is that we have an AI which has the goodwill and the ability to express this goodwill in reality and the ability to create something different, something unique which hasn't had prototype before, and that isn't like everything we have seen yet. But as for now, we are not speaking about it because a lot of specialists think that even if we want to do something, we need a machine that has its free will, its conscience, because we don't know what conscience really is, and it doesn't mean that we have it. We can't change it. We can't have it as a changeable thing. In the Western, it has a name of heart problem of the artificial intelligence. So this is what we have mentioned before in the first report. It's like transcendence from the cyberversum to cyberpunk. It's quite a natural thing, but we have some directional forces. So this is a crisis of the current world, and the second one is that we as a humankind can influence it too, and the effect is catastrophical. And this catastrophical focal point is not made by AI, but by humankind, and not a lot of humankind. So it's not a problem of technological development. It's yet another social problem. Like, it's not really common one. It's common that the AI development is one of the limits technologies, and the limit technologies is that is not compatible with our phase of development as a humankind. So we need to either destroy it or to forget about it. and to develop to the level. So the fact that we have this royalty laws, we have a lot of things which don't work with them either. And there is also one question: what is stronger, the society transitions or the AI? So we are used to staying with the society, but I think that AI is more has more potential. For a long time we had this problem. So we had this Asimov style development of AI and another model. But now we have this made in a balance, which is called cyberversum. And this has happened when we got into the internet, into the so-called internet jail. So this is an opportunity of using the internet and AI to limit the humankind abilities. In the modern world, unfortunately, this is the best possibility that we are going to use this as wide as possible. So from the previous slide, the catastrophic focal point is not made by AI, but some people. And we know these people.
Эти просто инструменты использовать в состоянии уже.
So can the AI use those tools on its own? So no. First of all, it has to have a free will and a conscience. And if on the stage when it has its conscience, on this stage when we can't even imagine, not even talking about seeing it, and when we get closer to this momentum, I think we are going to realize that this is the AI we're speaking about. So the thing we are speaking about, this AI, doesn't even exist. But in the development process, it's going to be resolved. This problem is going to be resolved. So take a look at the picture on the screen. This is a technological waves and the start of their creating. They are on the straight line, so they have one wavelength. And these are the differences in mathematics, cybernetics, and fantasy writing. So fantasy writing is in violet, mathematics in red, and cybernetics in green. And I want to draw your attention to the fact that these are related things, and this mathematical apparatus has been made in fourth wave. So it's like 1960s or a little bit later. And if we speak that we live by the laws made in this time, this is probably it. So our described world has been described back then. So in the green, on the green, we start from the AI. Asimov has said about robot unemployment and robot apocalypses, digitalized communism and digitalized fascism. And closer to our years, we have a stronger AI and some robot threats and some model of meta university. And the last thing we have made here is cyber forever living. Okay, so we have the similar thing in those worlds we are describing, and we are going to get to the finish line by paying all of our debts. But Next, we have no idea what we are going to have next because there hasn't been anything written after 1960s. I have quoted Chidrovitsky, who has ended the conference with the words, "We have thought what conference has said on this, and since in previous 2,000 years anything new hasn't appeared, I think it's safe to call this conference ended." So this is why I think there's going to be a new wave, but is it going to be similar or is it going to be used, and what are we going to say about it? Because we have experienced everything. But the idea of cyber immortality and the world of undead in this fiction in which we talk about future. So step by step, this topic is getting more and more important. So the strong AI can do anything else, and based on this, we can make some decisions and do some solutions. And this is where we get this average AI. It's an existent weak AI, which doesn't create anything new and doesn't have any free will and can have some limitations. So Stanislav Lem was the first. Так, сейчас. Ладно, давай.
Subject creates new sometimes and overcomes some limitations. And what we're doing now, in my opinion, powerful AI, probably it's going to be created tomorrow. Maybe it's going to be created in 50 years. Maybe it's never going to be created at all. There are two moments in here. First of all, unfortunately or happily, powerful AI can be described and can be written, and it's supposed to exist as it's supposed to be, as it was thought. And it complicates our life drastically, but that's pretty interesting. But middle AI, it can be created now. Definitely. And that means that we are expecting huge developments and progress. So the scheme of the balance of the types of data. So this is the same big data, a big data, and we're expecting the expansion of these types of data. So big data is a process of homeostasis, and deep data is the conscious and creation and the highest intelligence. So can you pay attention that here we have the internal balance. These are data payment and the two-edge constant position that are interesting, but we have no idea what is it. Lower data, something about that God knows everything about the world. Nature data, something that can be imagined but do not exist, but can be used by AI. And your attention for the believers and not believers, what interesting solutions do we have in this counter meaning or some projects solutions. So, to be honest, everything is not how it is in reality. Can you pay attention? It's very pleasant to have that symmetric scheme, but this one is how it exists right now. There is AI that is with the. it's controversial and it cannot exist in this form, and so the machine will not turn into a god anyhow. So limit AI, but middle AI can be created nowadays. And what does it change in the paradigms? We have the new infrastructure of thinking. Last time this thing happened between Bacon and Newton when they were creating the apparatus for experimental physics. So we had a change in the structure of thinking. So we have a new structure of thinking to calculate the experiments. So we have a balance: physical experiments, mental experiments, and calculative experiments. So 3 types of experiments. So these are 3 types of work with reality. So the second stage is that AI is like a call, like a huge challenge. So over challenge. So it's something that addressed to everyone and to everything. There was only one over challenge in our life. It was death. But now we have a second one. Death says that we'll die, but artificial intelligence frightens us with the fact that we'll live for nothing. We'll die for nothing. But in reality, the interesting thing that is not the fact of the super challenge, is that our environment has changed and the space has changed. Religious, scientific, technological, environment, political, changed. And everything was created as opposed to the death. But now we have to change. An example: imagine how the world will change, and any intelligent will tell you that once we had a once challenge, we could believe that there's only one of it. But if there are 2 of them, and then how many of it exist at all? And how many new super challenges we would have in the future? And that task is really interesting, and Lem hadn't written on it. So AI, in its complex view, is a very complex system, and it's more complex than a human. I'm not saying it's just more difficult. That's the model of something that cannot be discovered. Anthropomorphic type of thinking, what does it mean? It won't, all our schematics, our works from the ground. Any scheme falls there, and the computer does not have that feature. And we can think how it's going to work where the thinking is not anthropic thinking. So I'm going to we have a lot of things here to discuss, but I'm going to pass some of it. And I'm just going to tell one thing. To be honest, the creation of the AI itself makes us
А это, например, означает, что в будущем не будет развития науки. Будет развитие познания.
And it can be declined, but this knowledge will change into something new, and it will happen before our eyes, and it won't be in 20 years, it will happen in 5 years. Of course, everything gonna be happening. It will be a long process, because the Bacon's paradigm was happening for more than 100 years, but it appeared after creation of the new ergonon. And once we have the imagination of what is so what is not a middle AI? Well, ChatGPT is not a middle AI. The problem is that all the answers of any chat to any question are useless, meaningless. I can say they're worse and they have no content in it. Why is it so? Because all the computers were created on the architecture of the font name, and it bases on the Shin's model of information that describes the information as the measure of the right in the system without giving the knowledge or thinking. You can make you cannot add sense to where there is it doesn't exist on the apparatus level, on the software level, and we need to understand that its language needs to be saved. That's it can be crazy, so he won't understand where it's located, and AI does it pretty easily, and that's a pretty drastic moment. And I would like to underline that and highlight that it's not a critic. It's not a critic of the artificial intelligence. We just want to understand what it can do, what it cannot. So I'll just pass a huge list of answers and questions. We may say one simple thing, that in fact all these answers reminds of people who worked at schools or universities will understand. And you're asking me, the schooler or the student? Well, if he's smart, he'll try to give you logical text where he will fill in the words from your question. And once you'll be sleepy at that moment, you would say, okay, correct, let's go to the next question. And that's his special feature as a system. So neural network today don't have not small, not average, not that high artificial intelligence, but it can be used to write diplomas, articles, reports to receive Nobel Prize, which is can be called as a sentence for science and education. Well, it's a limited technology that things that were hidden, they put it in a bad context. So chats and the AI, they have lingual intelligence, and that means that it can be used as the slaves of corrects to make the auto translations and to reflect
И поставить любому что-то вопрос.
to give the understanding, and we can ask the chat if whether there was something like that in history, and he will find not only the structure in history but even the connections. And for example, what our teachers do in our group when you give them an answer, and now you receive it. You know, all these type of things were discussed in the 5th century in India, just like that, with a snap of our fingers. And it means that we can push through to the future and keep developing and have a progress in the future. And I'm speaking about the attempts to write a new work in the human context, that what we do and what we can do, but do it badly. We can make and create the step-by-step translation. There is a English Alisa, there is a Russian translator. Let's make the neural network to make the back and forth translation. Is it possible? And what will we have as a result? Is the translation going to be the same, or it's going to be whether it's going to differ? But take a look. All these cases, we need human always on each step, and that's the disadvantage. Computer gives us semantic intelligence. Human separately they work badly, but together they will work together because the computer cannot understand the meaning. But but there is a human that can understand the meaning. You know whether you know the meaning that I try to input, it will put it in more adequate form. So there's possible outcomes, expands use of the lingual semantic differentiate, so whether ability to understand how it's going to change in the future. That's the semantic production, and as for today, our understanding says that we need to differentiate such things and create the differential equations for such things. Analyze of the environment. In analytics would say, take a look at the list of the events. Obviously, that next list of events comes from one list to another. So the initial report, for example, out of 5,000, we will pick 10. Why we pick those? Can we make the computer to understand why we made those choices? We can make it, make the computer to understand into the poem language, into the language of poetry. Well, Goethe did that before, and there was no further experiments. We can put it all together, and we can interpret it. We can create the artificial ontologies. We can create the maps of knowledge. We can make computer to create the controversies and solve them, knowing we put the maps and we highlight the controversies, and the antonyms and semantic specters keeps changing. And then we make computer transfer those controversies to a understandable algorithm. And for example, what's engineering Altshuler did, what he did, who created TRIS. And it's a pretty good working thing. We can learn, construct languages up to the tasks. Because there are some tasks you cannot do it in English or Russian. You just put it down, and somewhere it's being analyzed and solved. And you even create your own code. There were some controversies in the physics between the mathematics.
One of the decisions is the math physics, which has made in 20th decade. But we also need the dual to the first one. I call it call it physical mathematics, and I can do it. And I think that average AI can do it too. So the conclusion. Average AI is need to be done, and it's going to work, but not for us, but with us. So we won't be released from this need to think for ourselves. The next thing that I'm going to show you is that technological compliance, which is a medium, like an average things in which we show like a compliance of technologies which are resolving some problems, and they have a full system of something. They have, for example, media, then it's a technology or a whole sphere. So then it's a cognitive problem. And so now we have the structure. We have free basis technology, which are in technological balance and are going to be like that forever. So base technology is an interesting situation. Any demand and requirement was a form of a myth. For example, there was a myth that the gods can fly, and the mythological need to fly too. And we have this basic mythology of a wing. We get this into the ontology. We have some set of activities doing which we can start flying too. And the technology basis gives it the systematic approach. For example, if we speak about the planes, it's not enough to only make it. You need aerodromes, you need to get pilots. And you see, to prepare a pilot is not a great, a big solution, a big problem. But if you had a pilot before, so it's considered that Wright is not the first, brothers Wright were not the first who made a plane, but there was a person who made this plane and who taught other people how to do it. And then we need to have this technology to be called something, and we need to have this semantic shell on which we can speak. And using this method, we can synthesize an AI. We have an AI, and we describe it as knowing how to solve these oncoming problems, and the higher classes which they can solve. The better is the AI. I think that there are a lot of methods, so it's better to say that there are no methods. So we can describe it as good speech, the knowing how to use tools and how to store them, the separation and delegation of the labors, um, raising of children, securing of the elderly members, and also the wanting, the wish to do something which is not to which doesn't have to be made in order to survive. Uh, in different like together all of these things we only see in humankind, but one of these things we can see in a lot of other species. The AI hasn't got conscience, and it can't create something new, and can create something new, but it can learn, can't work with the sense and the content, and it doesn't have any intuition. And it seems that the AI of today is like a kid of 5 to 6 years, but this child is actually also can use big databases. So this is a child with a big vast knowledge and a big vast memory. And this is where we come to a very strange thing. And this is why in fact that AI knows how to work with us on the natural language, and it exceeds all of the databases and has the access to all the data, and can find it very fastly, rapidly, and to operate with parameters, um, and to also operate with mathematical objects as data which doesn't have to be transferred, operate with images, words, decipher, and archive the archive, and do some other activities. And when we draw this, we understand what we need to do. This is a basic slide of our presentation. We have technological um, pack of AI and the technological pack of AI, and we need also be able to set the cognitive models. There are some immovable models, math modeling as dynamic modeling, not like not modeling, not importantly necessarily modelic modeling, but also some others, and the spontaneous shifting. This is what are the basis, and I think that the AI development is going to result in changing of the intellect of the AI. So we are coming to the evolution of non-natural languages and the AI. So we don't have to ask question who is going to win, because we are going to develop hand in hand. The question is who is going to define this development? Who is going to be the main force? The main moving force. It means in which God you believe. In Christianity, for example, that you believe in God is going to define your belief in AI. So the human is a stochastic form of of a creature, and it's going to be like so-called slave of AI, which is not stochastic, and it means that it depends on which transcendental views you believe in. So we have this AI and um, our beliefs, our intuitive approaches, the works of Aristotle, Socrates, and some other scholars, some ontologies. We also have episteme. Uh, it's organization of the input data, logical approach of Aristotle, uh, non-natural languages, non-natural ontologists, and this is how we work with the system, and the power of ontology, which is based on the top, is going to be set manually and is going to define its depth. And since the construction is symmetrical, we can get all the information about the AI. So what we know about this already? It's the so we have in red what we don't have, what we lack, in yellow what we have but not enough, and in green what we already have. And we also get that all of these constructions should be symmetrical in the end. I would also want to say two things about it. So we have reached this far, and there is a lot of yellow and green in AI than in natural intelligence. And the most important is that in intelligence, natural intelligence, we can see the reflectiveness. We can see how we work ourselves. This is a picture of how it can be seen. And I think this is the time for me to stop.
Прекрасно. Браво. Но мы все-таки не отпустим вас без вопросов.
Thank you. But anyways, we are going to ask you some questions. Yeah, please give your students documents to raise.
Здесь, да.
Здравствуйте, Сергей Борисович.
Good morning, Sergey Raisovich. To be honest, I needed to get my attention drawn to your topic to understand, to realize. I had a question for you personally. On which side are you right now?
Можно сказать, ну, не так, конечно, просто это...
Not like that, but I'm just curious. You have mentioned that AI is going to be as a god for some.
Как раз этого я в точности рассказал, что есть две предельные
I
точки.
said that there are two limit points.
Представление
Lord
о
Theta,
некотором
which is
есть у Господа.
this
Представление о
NLE
мире,
dot,
которое может иметь
is a
гипотетический предельный искусственный интеллект.
is a definition of world which the AI has can have as a limit. How do you think can AI get to know the uni-
С моей точки зрения,
universe?
искусственный интеллект
Um,
будет видеть Вселенную
it's going to see the universe in a different way than the God has seen it. So can the person know the universe? Like the Christian person thinks that yes. So first of all, you need to know your God. First of all, from the books, from the process of creation, etc. So your own opinion. I'm a Christian, evangelist, and Protestant, so this is my opinion. No questions left, okay. And as for the AI, I think this is an instrument of this knowledge method. But the structure tells us that we can imagine limits of non-anthropomorph intelligence.
Я верю в то, что и не сможет познать до конца.
I think we can't get to know the universe to the limit.
И вот на противоречии
And I think there is a controversy between this version and ours, this option and ours. We can get a lot of things, but I pity that this is not going to be through our lifetimes, and it's pity that we are not going to see it. So this is why I'm answering this pretty honestly, very honestly. So we are going to make the intelligence, which is not going. It's going to be as good as the humankind. So why are you doing the same as all the people on the earth? Do something which I don't understand for this amount of money, which I can't understand as a humankind. This is a goal, as I see it. Thank you very much. Yeah, let's get some more questions. So my name is Zolotov Oleg. I'm international expert. So as you've said, this is a serious background for understanding this sense of your report. This is why this about the semantics, which is applicable to our business in Bashkortostan. We are from different countries, different cities, and we speak with different languages. Uh, how can you?
Там или еще что-то. Это уже
Is it like?
вообще сам язык, сама речь.
But it's are we going to have this speech, and are we going to get this get our thoughts through teleportation? But first of all, I think I'm going to discuss it on 3rd and 5th of January. We are going to speak on it, and in 2 words, in the several words, me in my group, I don't work with the speech. It's not my. I don't believe in non-language thinking. I think that anyways we need the speech to think, and I think that our group position is that view is that the evolution of the language is the breakthrough from the symbol to the something which it symbolizes, and it depends on the time. And then we have this existence of the speech. But here I'm not going to speak in details because this is not what I am going to speak. This is not my expertise, my field of expertise.
Сергей Валерьевич, я один, наверное,
Sergey Valeryevich, I'm one of these readers of your books. Thank you very much. Write more books, please. And the second thing that is that during your report, I was very attentive, and I couldn't understand why AI isn't singular. So it's like an universal matrix, like in 90s, like there was a center of internet. It's like a ubiquitous, like a unique internet in the center of working on the internet. Is it going to be managed from one center? No, not at all. It's like a name of AI. It's just a name of technology. It's like the steam engine. It's not like the engine is in singular, but I hear engine in plural, but I hear AI in singular. So people usually think of it as AI. Traditionally in Russian language, it's given as in singular. There are a lot of models, a lot of systems, and some other developments. So it's like a figure of speech. It's like a way to describe. It's not a trend. Yeah, and this option that we have a ubiquitous artificial intelligence. It's a fantasy from 50s or not even 60s. And so Asimov has already made his book, and he was mocking it already. So yeah, thank you very much, colleagues. So yeah, thank you very much, Sergey Borisovich. And the floor goes to Vlad Sitnikov, Transcendent. Thank you very much for staying with us. So yeah, I can start. Yeah. So first of all, I'm going to be a little bit. There's going to be a controversy a little bit, but it's not about the development. It's about one important thing. I don't want to come out as offensive. I just am going to speak about religion questions. And I know that there might be some people who believe, and it's going to be a difficult topic. I'm really sorry in advance, but anyways, it's going to be a discussion which is very important, and some other nuances that. So you need to imagine that all of your. So we have.
Мы находимся сейчас в таком бункере, вы получаете такие знания, которые вот выйдете, вы будете знать гораздо больше и подготовленнее в будущем, нежели чем все остальные люди.
And you are going to know a little bit more than other people in UFO in Russia, etc. We are kind of a bunker, in a bunker, and there is a nuclear weapon outside, and we are just realizing our future. So actually, there happened a strange thing. And I disagree with the thing with which I'm going to speak. So he's speaking about the future. This is the past, and everything has already happened. We are living the inheritance of people and people on the earth. My opinion is that we are not the life form on this planet. We, as a humankind, actually, I feel ashamed that because Sergey Borisovich is very clever, and he is going to, because he knows a lot more. So I feel really ashamed. But so this organic life is a limit. It's a limit. It's like stalemate form of life, and we have made the decision to make some kind of other life form. It's not even carbon, silicon life form. Actually, no. It's going to be quantum. It's going to be. I'm not quite even sure in which it's going to be presented, but anyways, it's going to be silicon life form. This is thanks to which you can take photos. And this is, I think, the extraterrestrials don't even touch us. They are not interested in us. We have made a lot of things in order to make this impulse, to give it a reason. And first of all, we have declined speaking to each other. So this is a good thing that we are here in this bunker. And we have come here to listen to a live human. And in order to see another human, we need to get a car from Uber or taxi app, etc. So we even have this in Moscow and Kazan, robot taxis. We also use Airbnb, Ostrovok, etc. to get a home. We also get our food delivered by not know speaking to any person if we don't want to see anyone. And also the postal services of Russia, they have managed to
Стал повышаться у Почты России. Они удивляются,
have managed to use it with the robot, and they have become more popular because it doesn't swear, it doesn't make conflict situations.
понимаете, сколько звонков с посылками у Почты России. А
And
он
do you know
Тиндер, мы знакомимся.
how many you have problems with the postal services? Tinder, we use it to see other people. We use browsers to see it. And other people travel, and we don't even have to travel because we can see other photos of other people. We have friends in Xbox games and do businesses online. We don't have to speak to people
Еще стоит бот.
because, first of all, every app has a bot, it has a robot. And we see all those logos, but anyways, it's actually bots. And we live in this economy of loneliness, and we even enjoy it. Actually, I like it that I can see the person that drives me. I really like it. We, as a humankind, before speaking to another person, we speak to the AI, and this AI speaks to the AI of this person, and we do one operation and they do another operation, and this is what is the crucial part of our economy. Our trust credit is coming down because we don't speak to another humankind, we speak to an AI, and this is what influences our whole life. And this what we give to our AI. This is AI has been part of us. They are speaking. The bots are speaking to each other, not the humans. And this is not. This doesn't influence our things, and we all.
Много меня.
In general, it doesn't. It doesn't influence our behavior. It's not even about the bots. It's about the humankind. And so, if we speak about the AI, the operational system has been stolen by the AI, and we have lost it. We speak using the speech, and we have sent our speech using the AI. And so, right now we can see that we have lost our speech, our language. And the second one, you can see by the bad written speech, because actually I use it a lot, and I can see, I can ask questions and to get something faster, and it's really comfortable. And the obvious thing is that some of the texts are not good, and the AI is going to learn to be doing this badly, not well enough. And this kind of war, it's not about Terminator of Matrix. It's about the personalization and our boundaries, our personal connections. So if we see a lot of bots in WhatsApp, in Telegram, we know that a lot of years have passed, like in the pandemic moments. In Telegram, there have occurred Pavel Santechnik and etc. So they have emerged in Telegram. So you didn't understand that that they were in your contact book, but anyways, they have emerged, and there's going to be bot appearing here, and I'm going to be confused whether it's a human, whether it's a person or not.
Отношения, потому что это он похитит у нас с вами, и они будут.
So, and they are taught from each other for us, right? And I've tried all the options of Jigo chat.
Ну, Джихад, вы все знаете, что такое?
So you know what is jihad? Have you heard Duma? Have you read Duma? If you remember the plot, when there are no computers in the movie, there are people, but there are no computers because there was a war at that period. So people won against machines, and I asked to Jigo chat to make the picture of that, and I didn't stop.
Ну, в общем, ладно.
Disappeared, unfortunately. It's a pity. There were 5 pictures of colors, and the chat knows something about the war between human and machines. So he probably didn't know what this word jihad means, and that's why he just listed me the colors. We feel that is something. It's happening right now. We should understand that this is the economy, and we need to understand.
Представьте нового
We can imagine a creature that will have some intelligence, intellectual mind. But so far, if we imagine that we're fighting with this, if we think about some new wonder that we cannot explain,
то вот встречайте, есть такой.
so in this chat, you can find the God,
Может быть, специально.
many fingers with many fingers.
Значит, рай для бота.
So this is the heaven for the bot. It's not the heaven for the person, the human being. So the heaven for the person is something that is, dealing with the God, but the heaven for the bot is something different. There is the planet, which is called Mars. She is existing more than 1 billion years. There are no living human beings. There are no books. There are no science. There is nothing. There is a science probably because there are some robots that are running there.
Все равно до нашего.
This planet doesn't care about our guts, our material things, and so this silicon will existing now, and it will exist in the future. It will have its own story. So what is the aim and the idea of our life, basically? We have something good with something bad. So we are lost in this heaven. The robots don't have no feelings, no understanding with the good things and bad things, bad activities, good activities. And the main thing is that we can manage this, and we can manage right now. So the human being is an animal who is adapting to the surrounding conditions. So we are also adapting with our minds. We are aiming to continue our being. So you know that hormones are ruling and managing our body. And you know that hormones can manage the AI and the chats and robots. If we go out, if we go out, for example, we can feel better. Sometimes we cry. You know that the hormones can manage the IA. What are hormones? What is it? This is a chemistry. Just look at each other, at neighbors. Just turn to each other and look at your neighbors.
Не стесняйтесь.
Don't be ashamed, just feel free to do that. And can you hug just your neighbor?
А видите?
Can you see? Can you see? You started smiling. Tell us when we start dancing. So you see that you started smiling, you feel happy. These are hormones.
Новостная лента.
So everything, our hormones are ruling our lives, basically. And it happened. So dopamine is the main success of TikTok. You know, when the TikTok started, to be popular, there was so important of comments, of views, like billion, like trillion, I would say, views and likes, but there are so much people on Earth. Why didn't you hesitate it? Is it true? So do you think that all my million views is a lie? That's right. There are special bottom of the moderator that moderator has, and they use it. If you'd like for me to cry, contact me and join me in Telegram. Yeah, it's working when you put it in the middle of the presentation, not in the end. If we are developing, at some point, we will refuse everything that is going on around us. So I've decided to prepare the life in the silicon world. There were no computers, because computers and robots will rule. So we are living on the planet when it's somehow will be destroyed, actually, and we will die. The human beings will die just one day in the future. So probably you don't want to die, of course, and there are problems, the climate problems, the radiation problems, and there is no decision to avoid the radiation diseases. It's not.
Так вот. Я ей говорил, да, что он будет давить. Стыдно. Ну ладно. Так вот.
Unfortunately, I couldn't hear the speaker. It's much easier to leave the silicon world and the planets rather than leave the Earth where we live. Well, have you ever thought how we can live in other planets? How much time will it take to get to another planet? Or does this planet has an air? What food we're going to have? And maybe one day we can create the capsule and live there, to create some silicon mines. And do you remember the story with the Matrix, with the ads, when we were told you should drink more these, energy drinks? Now we get more, we're charged with the energy. And prompt chat GPT, this is the inquiry that we search in Google, Yandex, chat GPTs. We are saying praise. We're going to church. I'm sorry, this is not a religious question. So we are praying to, life to improve. So you see, and so if we pray, for example, yes, we don't really know what's going to happen. There are marketplaces for selling prompts, for selling GPT chats in Yandex to get the result. So you can buy this inquiry. we were searching for the soul of the person, but we've somehow found something different, absolutely. Because the soul is kind of a unclear and unreal substance. And this substance is talking and living. So when we faced the computers, we typed, remember? Then we found out the screen. We did differently. We did the digital. So, but children, they don't really know how to communicate with a computer. They talk, and we have the devices like Alice, and she speaks. They speak with the phone, with the system. And you understand that the future is not to, type or, pick. It's just to talk. So the Alice system has something more than it's something more than AI. So children speak with this system as with a friend, and the main awful thing to imagine is the following: that our future people will just, speak. This is you who started this paradigm. We were thinking about something imperfect, but now you can finish everything. Okay, let's stop waiting. George Martin put it on court that it's too long. It's a religious. Within the religious, we live in imperfect feelings or faith and answering our questions, cursed questions. But here you can make it perfect. Everything you can make it perfect. And making something unified in yourself, it's really important. So the AI does not have any fantasy, but when the quantum computers will come here, we cannot imagine what's going to happen for us. There will be such a very high speed. I can just kind of imagine that there will be something close to the mind, some behavior, and there will be some mistakes, of course, and I'm sure that there will be something else. So the human's brain is something valuable, but still. So if one person can imagine, for the others it can be a prey. So for the Giga Chat, for example, you put, I would like to see a Greek god, and he gives you like a 5-fingered picture. So the AI lives in any subject. So revealing from the death. So the promises of all gods that we will have the end of the world. And there were experiments were done, and you can find them on YouTube, that the Samsung company did. They were the dead child, and he was like, by the AI, it was made alive from death. That was resurrected from death. What's we gonna wait? The drug addiction, alcoholism, what? Terrorism. So let's imagine that we have a capsule. When you go there to sleep, the AI is providing you with all the conditions to live, and then you are moving, shifting to another world. Do you know? You can imagine that you're playing a game. It's cool, right? You get a cool feeling because you have the idea of something that is not finished, in a computer game, and people like this. So, and this is very cool because you know that you don't know what's going to happen, or you know what's going to happen if you do something certain. But outside, you can see some nonsense. And all the enterprises and businessmen know that tomorrow, we don't know what to expect from tomorrow.
So the model is prepared, which is feed to your brains, and there are some ChatGPT which gave correct answers according to the request of the users, changing some meanings. But that used to be. Nowadays, we don't even need to do that. So this new space and time, if eternal life is expecting us, we don't even need to worry, because we can just save ourselves and then return to that point. And new space, everything that is around us, cold winter, or cold winter. We don't want to live in Chelyabinsk region, for example. Now we want to live in a really warm region, somewhere closer to equator. And games do that. There is no death. That's the great answer that we get from ChatGPT. And there are some wars where a person doesn't even participate and doesn't suffer. And there is a game EVE Online of 2017. So it's an open world space. You can live there, exist, and travel, collect some resources, and there are a lot of different corporations. So it's like a free world where well-to-do people just spend their time there. And this game is a really significant part of Icelandic economy because it's produced there. So in November 2017, there was a quick jump on servers, and their administrators noticed that. So suddenly happened something, and no one understood what was going on. And they checked those logs, and in that game universe, 3 different nations, which were managed, controlled by AI, decided to wage war against each other. So they started fighting, having battles, and that's why the servers got loaded. So a lot of characters kind of died, but no human being saw that. Just 3 different races were fighting, and no human being actually saw that. And they kept fighting, but there were no people, no one actually suffered. And it sounds quite funny, but this is a true fact that exists nowadays. And there is this mission of non-being. We don't have any serious breakthrough in science. This true non-being doesn't exist. Maybe it's discussed only in books or in computers. So what we should expect in waiting for this multi-fingered God? So I made you hug each other and you became a bit closer, but usually people don't really like to be close to each other. So we should create this interface which is inhumane. completely inhumane to reach this goal. Plus individuality and customization, they will bring us to the economy of solitude, of feeling alone. So what we should build now, we should help people get this individual and customized approach. And it's happening nowadays already. So there are some marketplaces. You know that the requests of in marketplace are more than in Google, Yandex, and marketplaces are built not only on selling just some products, but they are trying to create some new businesses in this change of goods sellings, not to let you go, leave those marketplaces. So they will stimulate you, motivate you to consume every time, to make you consume non-stop. They will provide you some cards, benefits, like purchase ozone card or something like that. So this is just an existing fact, and we need to utilize this knowledge. Then, permanent entertainment, robots will do everything, build everything. So what are people going to do? They will have nothing to do, so they will be quite idle, and probably there will be taxation for new robots and their use. So the government will have to have this taxation system for robots to provide for people just their basic demands. And well, the human is going to drink or eat. The human is an adapting animal, so we need to do at least something. It's like in ancient role, bread and entertainment. We're going just to play. It's something cool, innovative, unpredictable, and that's what will occupy us. Plus, we're going to be overwhelmed with the choice, the range of choice while playing. So we need the interface for obese and lazy people. So we'll have to create some websites for fat and lazy, as for me. And probably this interface will be controlled by eyesight or our breath, so we don't even have to move to control that. Then, degradation of communication. It's degradation of everything if you look at even my presentation. Then escapism, migration to the virtual, non-unreal world. And that's what we observe even nowadays. There are so many clothing brands in Fortnite. There's Adidas and Moncler and Gucci. My avatars wear those brands as human beings. And for many children, this virtual projection is one of the most important things in their life. Have you ever tried to take away a phone from your child? They get so desperate and upset. They can't live without phones. Then, new aesthetics for robots. Robots should understand the interface, they should understand what you're doing, it should be user-friendly. Then, zero risk. We will deny bravery and boldness or any aimed for results. So if we have AI and robots, they will take over and be in charge. So we don't have to do that. We will not have to do that anymore. Next, looking for emotions, we will be looking for other ways to get them. So we are already in this economy. we're already in this age. Probably that will happen tomorrow, but we should prepare everything to some basis, some foundation for the arrival of this new age. Maybe it's going to happen only a billion years ago, but if we look at the eternity and what religion promises us, these concepts are quite close. So I would like to wrap up today. Thanks a lot for staying with me. I hope that you started thinking about this problem and you've followed us on Instagram. So thanks a lot. I have a first question to you. So it's like in biology, there used to be primates before us, and we've evolved, and our next stage is this silicon stage. Oh, well, it's not our stage. So there is a theory that Cro-Magnons killed all other people preceding them, but that was only our all common branch. And here we're talking about absolutely new branch. I'm a philologist, and I like to give my tuppence. So my son is involved in ethno-business, and I have a special museum, ethno-museum, and I got the project for creating an ad. And when I do that, I love to put my whole heart and soul in that. And my son gave me an assignment to create an ad within 10 minutes, but I'm not really satisfied with that, because I usually take some specific phrases and interesting phrases from different books, and it usually takes me about 2 days to create a decent ad. But my son is an IT specialist, and he started teaching me some features, some tools that I've started learning from IT. So, and I got interested in that. So now there is a need in not talking. And so, for example, I go to a village and there is a 2-year-old. He's supposed to speak at this age, but when we ask him a question, he takes out his phone and he searches for an answer or a video, and he provides his answer with that video instead of talking. And in another Stolitamak region, there is a 10-year-old who is extremely smart, and when he's at the computer, he does such amazing things, and my head can't really comprehend that. But when you start talking to that child and ask questions, he just answers yes or no, and that's all our conversation. And then he gets back to his computer, and that's the generation growing. When I'm trying to remember my childhood, you remember those magnetophones that we used, and we watched some videos with special cassettes like Neznayka on the Moon, and so they had some songs there and so on. And can you imagine? Nowadays we are in that tale, because now we're playing and making money at the same time, enjoying our comfort. So here's the question: do you think there will be this age that people will not even have to speak, and we will be divided into 2 different groups, people who provide services and those who can't talk? So, yeah, probably there are 1 or 2 or 10% of people who control others, but no, that will not happen. There are people who manage and do not manage others. So, and we prove that. And your story just proves that humans are humans. Humans are those who are not supposed to evolve in the future. So here's another question. You said that we have about 8 billion people in the world, and they're not really interested in creating the same intelligence, but they're trying to create another inhumane intelligence. So if we've already created human intelligence, so who is going to create a non-human intelligence? Probably it's not people who should do that. So we're looking at Lamb's story of Golem. Everything that we're discussing as reality, it was described long time ago, and there's this model that probably programs can do something for programs. When we create a generator of languages, which gets more and more complex every time, this program can describe more and more complex pictures of the world, like this work, Golem 14, is about that. It doesn't mean that you don't have any opportunity to understand that, but when translating to the human language, will sound for 20,000 years, and we will not be able to finish listening that up to until the end, because we will just die. So in this inhumane intelligence, you will be able to create it in computer systems. But I will say less complex thing. If we reflect on our cognitive capacities, how we think and why, and then we will try to get something humane from that and add up something inhumane, something really interesting will appear. And it's not really complicated to do. We can do that even nowadays, and it doesn't require anything too difficult. So the thing is, when I'm talking about the need of inhumane thinking, intelligence, I think that even this intelligence a human can provide for, and they're going to keep doing that in future. So this is quite a transcendent question. The question is whether the human being is an animal or not. It's a quite interesting question. A person has a lot of animal features that would be quite ridiculous to deny, and we do not argue here. But this term of human as an adapting animal has two mistakes. Human is not an animal, first and foremost, and then in comparison to an animal, human is not an adaptive creature. And I think that a human is going to develop their own humane intelligence and the humane capability of working with the world. And the computer will, on the one hand, help them with that, and on the other hand, will demonstrate this inhumane viewpoint of the world. It's like the Nietzsche's limit. So the universe is built with the idea that human cannot comprehend everything there. So maybe there's some other creature exists that also tries to comprehend the universe. So it's quite sad to think that our future is entertainment. I stick to intelligence and discoveries. For example, Ember Cycle was about the same. We can always create our artificial reflection where we can be anyone, but it doesn't connect the real world. So, as Ember said, we're not talking about some reflection which is not real. So, and we are capable to distinguish reality and unreality, so-called. So everything that's been done was created by God. So there's no age of this 6 finger God, but I have the age of the Holy Spirit. And everyone has their choice, and this choice is quite interesting. Think about those who are interested in history. There has never been any situation when our transcendent or ethical choices have never been defined, have never defined our technological or scientific ideas of the future. And now this time has come, and it's quite fascinating to think about. So for the 20 years of artificial intelligence development, and I'm trying to use all the computer achievements, for the past 20 years, the amount of work has risen. And maybe quite recently I was able to play my favorite games every year, but now I can do that only once a year. So I would like to tell you very important news. Now there is a meeting with Mr. Putin, and he said that very soon there will be new order of new edition of AI development, and it's taking place at the moment.
So I suggest you to upload so you know that the future was created here. So thank you very much. Have a good evening. Interpreters are the best.